Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kisha. Just in case you're new here, I blog every day at kjaggers.com. It's linked below. It's like my home, and you can find out so much more about me and about what's going on from that blog, so feel free to check it out anytime you want. So here recently, when I have been posting like in my day in the life videos or on Facebook or just on my blog about not being able to really get back on schedule, I've had so many of you guys express the same feelings that you're having trouble just, finding a schedule that works for you within this new school year, especially for us stay-at-home wives and moms. And my personal struggle has been really since we came back from our Myrtle Beach vacation. And it's just been so hard trying to find any normality, any type of schedule that's working. I seem to run late with everything, and I'm usually a very on-time, prompt type of person, but I'm so off schedule. So I thought that I would just address a few things that maybe will be beneficial to some of you guys. I'm going to show you a new schedule I'm working with. I'm going to tell you a few tips and tricks that have been working for me. Some of them are pretty remedial, and it's going to seem pretty simple, but I found a way of following a schedule that has worked this past week. I also, the week before when I started testing it out, realized that, where I fall off the wagon, so to speak, on my schedule. And that number one thing is phone calls. So, I have family, friends, and business calls that I have to make during the day and calls that I want to make during the day. But those calls are really what's messing up the schedule. It's the truth, at least for me. And most of our friends and family are away, so I have to, correspond with them. And one of my children live with her father, and I correspond with her a lot through the phone and email and text, and the phone has really been a problem. It just has. It's where I've fallen off most of the time. So, dedicating time for each slot of the day was something that inspired me. I saw it on a blog. I posted it in a day in the life video. You can click below to find that blog and that schedule. Now, the schedule I made, I started out on Excel. I finished it on Excel, but then I made it on my new What a Week worksheet that I made labels, and this can go upstairs, downstairs. I basically laminated it with tape, and don't worry, I'm going to show you this in detail in just a minute, but it really does help me to have a schedule with blocked out times. Now, I'm not somebody who always follows it to a T. Things happen, phone calls come in, and I get off track a little bit, but this has been the guiding force these past couple of weeks of putting my life back together piece by piece. And many of you know that, my marriage has kind of suffered this past month. I have been bickering a lot with my husband. He switched jobs, and I had him home for a long period of time. And when you have your husband or your kids home with you a lot, then it's a lot harder to stick to a schedule and get things done in a timely manner. It just works that way. Don't ask me why. It's easier to clean and be busy when you're alone rather than having a house full of kids. However, if you do have a husband at home or a house full of kids that are maybe toddlers still, or maybe you're homeschooling, you can still make your children help with some of the things on your personal schedule and not even feel bad about it. They live there. They can contribute and learn how to do a few things, especially at their home, and you need to get motivated. Having a family clean day is wonderful. We do that sometimes, like today is cleaning day. We're not stopping until the house is completely clean. And a lot of times that happens before company comes over. But I do our weekly cleaning and such like that. But there are times when your kids are home, even in the summers, when You're going to have to work around them or work with them. Same with like a husband who is, disabled, or even on vacation or works from home. Whatever it may be, you have to find ways to work around them. The best way I have found is to make them help. My husband included the week and a half that he stayed home. He did a ton of stuff around the house to help me out and help our family out. So, some days he was more motivated than me. And you just have to find a way to work with people in the house if you have a home full of people. Now, right now, we are well into the school year. And for so many of us moms, to be off schedule right now is just not good. And I have been off schedule. My son, in a way, has even been off schedule. And I know Scott's been off schedule. And none of us have really lived in the moment. Instead, we're worrying about tomorrow. We're worrying about the appointments next week. We're worrying about this later, when we really have to focus on the single day that we are in. So I've been working really hard towards that, and I made this new schedule. Now, I want to say before I show it, my husband does morning shift because he already has to be at work early. Jackson school bus comes at 6:15, and his first bell doesn't ring till like 8 o'clock. So that's 2 hours in transit, and neither of us felt really good about it. But his school is quite a way, away, so it's like a 25-minute drive, and I wasn't excited about taking him every day either. I thought I'd drive him to the bus stop, wait, and when the bus came, let him get on, and then come back home. But that makes for a very long day when he doesn't get home till 4. My husband is already getting up and ready for work, and so he does morning shift. Usually he works a lot of hours. He doesn't get to spend a ton of time with Jackson, maybe a little bit of time in the evenings and then some on the weekends, but he is working a lot. So the morning shift is kind of like their time together. And sometimes, we do homework the night before always, but sometimes in the mornings they go over things that Jackson might not understand in math, or clearly I'm not really good at helping him. They make omelets together. Scott does morning shift. So my morning can start basically when I want it to start, unless I have an appointment. So I am kind of like a night owl. I'm sorry about my phone. I'm a night owl. Just by design. God made me that way, and my schedule starts maybe a little bit later than some of you guys. I don't think we should be judging each other as moms about what time who gets up. What works for one family might not work for another. I read somewhere that someone said, I can't believe she gets up so late. I love my family way too much I take my job as a housewife and as a mom way too serious to get up that late. Really? Because in our family, my husband does the morning shift, and I consider my home and my family very important. Even though we've had some trials and problems, it doesn't mean I don't love them, and it doesn't mean that I don't take my family, my home, my animals, my kids, my family as a whole, extended family, seriously. So, let's try not to be insultive when it comes to other people's schedules. Start times and end times vary for everybody, and I'm excited to show you what's been working for me. So let's have a look at my schedule. I'm going to show it to you in detail on the Oh What a Week page. I'll also show you a quick version, the same version on Excel, and I'll come back and wrap this video up. So I am in my dining room right now because there is so much glare upstairs and in my kitchen that this is really the best place to show you this. So I also have it propped up on my teapot, but I have a fall home tour video already up. You can check that out if you're interested. But I decided to use my Oh What a Week weekly planner desk pad to make my schedule on. Now, I did start out with Excel, and I will show you that in just a minute, but I wanted to go ahead and show you this one because this is the one I'm using, and I think it's really cute. It has, like a column for each day of the week in really pretty colors. And what I did was use my label maker with the clear labels that I raved about in my September favorites video, which is already up, to lay out the kind of schedule I wanted. So for me, I like a 9 a.m. wake-up call. That is pretty good. Some days I wake up a little bit earlier. Some days I wake up a little bit later. But I'm setting my alarm and I'm working hard to wake up at 9 a.m. Now, I give myself an hour and 15 minutes to wake up, have coffee, watch the news, and feed the animals before I go upstairs at 10:15 to toss the laundry and get dressed. At 10:30, I like to make the beds and do a quick pickup of, the bedrooms upstairs. At 11 a.m., I really enjoy the show The View, and I make that a break and computer time and a brunch time. Sometimes I have breakfast up here, but most of the time I really eat closer to about 11. And then 12 p.m. work, and you'll see that across the board every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Now, this can mean a couple things. This can mean work around the house if there's additional housework. This could mean computer work. This could mean errands. This dedicated space is for whatever work ideas or items I need to get done that particular day, and I can switch that up weekly in my errand calendar and life planner on what I need to be doing. At 1 p.m. housework. On Mondays, I do my weekly cleaning. By 3 p.m., I'm usually done if I haven't taken too many phone calls, and I do more work. Now, that work, again, can be computer work, it can be household work, it can be any kind of work, answering emails and comments, whatever kind of work I need to do that week, that I will go ahead and plan out generally on, the week before. At 4:10, Jackson gets home from school and we go over his homework. We talk about his day. I spend a good 20 to 25 minutes with him before I go back and work some more until around 6:30. Now, when I say work, I do a lot of work on the computer. So I do a lot of computer work during this hour usually. But I can certainly use that time to do a home project that I'm working on or whatever else I need to do. But it's another area, and it is broke up with Jackson's coming home, because I think it's important that we take time to show, our kids we're interested in how their day was. We talk about, the good and the bad, and we see the homework. He starts it usually right away, and then I go ahead and check it later. From 4:30 to 6:30 is whatever kind of work deemed necessary, and it is nice having a break here, because whatever I'm usually working on at 3 is going to carry over into 4:30, and this little break with Jackson is quite nice. At 6:30, I start dinner prep, and what that means is emptying the dishwasher, making sure whatever we're having is thawed out, and if it's not, getting it in the microwave, getting it ready to start cooking, and start cooking it. At 7:30, we basically enjoy dinner. Now, my husband works late most nights, so it's really me and Jackson eating together through the week most of the time. Scott eats when he gets home, but there's some nights of the week he does, eat with us. At 8:15, I try to have my kitchen picked up. I hate a dirty kitchen. And by 9 o'clock, Jackson is bedtime, and we start watching TV, Scott and I. So sometimes there's adult shows like The Rush, the doctor show, or Scandal, or Grey's Anatomy, or, shows that really, and when I say adult, I don't mean like rated X, like dirty movies. I mean just like, shows that he wouldn't be interested in. We start watching those. Now, a lot of times we spend about 15 to 20 minutes putting Jackson to bed, going over what he wants to wear, what he wants for breakfast. And we don't really read stories anymore. He's almost 12. He doesn't want a bedtime story, but sometimes we'll go over a Bible passage, or we'll have him read out of his children's Bible, and then we have adult time. Now, I say 9:30 is Scott's time because generally Scott's time is watching a movie together, laying in bed, giving massages, which we both love. And from 9:30 to 11, we just kind of hang out. Now, if Scott ends up going to bed, early, which happens sometimes. That becomes my time. Then by 11 p.m., I like to do the morning prep of getting Jackson's stuff ready, do a quick pickup of basically the entire first floor, and then go run my bath. And when I'm running my bath, I'll usually fold a load of laundry because my bath takes a while to fill up, or I'll make a quick phone call to my best friend. But I use the time when I'm running my bath to usually do something else. And then by 12 a.m., I like to have some me time and bed. So what that means is generally I'm falling asleep between 1 and 2 a.m. And that's completely fine in our home. Now you'll see that it's the very same all the way down on Tuesday, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's basically my weekly schedule. Saturday and Sunday are a little bit different. Of course, I'm going to sleep in, and I'm guessing I'll be up by 11, but I allow myself those days to allow my body to catch back up on any sleep that maybe it feels like it missed. By 11 o'clock on Saturdays, I really like to be doing computer work where I'm answering YouTube comments, comments on my blog, doing a blog post, just computer work. By 12, I'm still answering and dealing with YouTube comments and emails. By 1 p.m., I like to start my home projects. 3 p.m. is animal care, and this won't be on everybody's schedule because I'm sure not everyone has, as many animals as we do. But what I do during that hour generally is either brush or bathe my cats out. I always clean the cat bowls and dishes on Saturdays. I maybe give Cooper a bath. Whatever it is, animal care falls in on Saturdays. 4 p.m.'s errands and shopping. 6:30 is rest time because I am tired. 7 p.m. dinner prep. It's Friday night. We stay up a little bit later. And it's usually generally an easier dinner. At 7:30, we're enjoying dinner. Same thing, 8:15 pickup time in the kitchen. 9 p.m. family time. That's usually a board game, a family movie. Time that we just spend together as a family, and it's Friday night. We don't usually spend a lot of time together on Friday night because Scott is still having to get up and go to work on Saturday, but we do make an effort to do family time on Friday. 11 p.m. again, starting to stay a little bit similar to schedule, making sure I have the coffee made for the morning, things ready, the house picked up, and get ready to start my bath, really more towards around 11:30 to 11:45, and then around 12 a.m. again, me time and bed and bath. Then on Sunday, again, I allow myself to sleep in. We haven't found a church that we're very happy with yet. Once we do, this will totally change. But 11 a.m. is spiritual time. Actually, like every day at 9 a.m. is spiritual time because I read in my prayer book. But I have a specific time set for spiritual time where we watch Joel Osteen on TV, where we watch Super Soul Sunday on OWN with Oprah. We have a spiritual time around 11 a.m. every Sunday. A lot of times towards the end of that spiritual time, I will jump on my blog and write a Sunday inspirational blog post with more of my thoughts about what we talked about in the spiritual time, or what I heard, or what scripture is in my mind. I'll talk about it on my blog. 12 p.m. computer work. 1 p.m. again, home improvements, home projects, anything I got going on, decorating the house for a particular holiday, whatever is left again on Saturday and Sundays. 3 p.m. family time. So Sundays, we usually have family time a little bit earlier. Scott is home. Sometimes family time is him and Jackson on the golf course. Sometimes family time is me and Jackson going and painting pottery. Sometimes family time is all of us playing Monopoly. It's just a family time. And then 6:30 dinner prep, 7:30 dinner, 8:15 kitchen pickup, 8:30 family time. Because it's Sunday night, we like to have a little bit of more family time to, start everybody's week a little bit happier. At 9:30, I dedicate that more to Scott. By 10:30, I'm getting things ready for Jackson for the upcoming week. By 11, I do my morning prep, my quick pickup, and my bath, and my 12 a.m., again, me time in bed. That's putting me to bed sometime between 1 and 2, because at 12 a.m., I am certainly not just falling asleep. As I said, I'm a bit of a night owl. Into the late night, which you don't see, there's a lot of planning. There's some blog posts that I go ahead and prepare. There's a video editing. Me time is sometimes working. I'm trying to take that out of the schedule a little bit more and dedicate computer work just to the hours that I list work, but I still tend to work on it into the evenings, which is working for me. And I really liked putting it on this, weekly layout, just so I can really see it. I want to see it. A day timer with time slots would work great too. My Erin Condren Life Planner does not have time slots where I can break everything down quite as in detail as this, but a day timer or a Filofax planner will allow you most of the time with whatever layout you're using to break it down by time, and that works well for me. Again, I found I came off of the schedule whenever I was on the phone too much. So when I originally started working on a very detailed schedule, I went to Excel. Now there's tons of templates you can just find, just type in schedule and it will bring them up. Now I started over here, obviously with the time, we got the dates, and this is nice, and I can definitely sync it with my phone, which is another nice perk to kind of remind me to stay on schedule. But I really thought the Erin Condren, Oh What a Week desk pad, if you will, schedule pad, was prettier, and I didn't laminate that. I didn't say that when I was showing it. I laminated it just using clear tape, like wide clear tape, like packing tape. But this was another great way to map out my day, how I wanted things to go. It's standard on most PCs, you can get it. I think there's also a free version on Windows that you can get, but it works brilliantly, and it worked perfect. I just liked the color and the layout of the other one that I showed you first, but this is a great option if you have a computer that you can get to, and you can get to Excel, find the schedule template, and if I can find it myself, I'll link it below and also in the blog post. But this is another great tool that you can use. Again, you can link it up with Google, and it will definitely alert you in your phone, which is really nice. And there's tons of other scheduling apps that you can find, and if you have any suggestions, you can leave those below. I know of quite a few of them myself, but nothing is working as well for me except the schedule that I just showed you on the dining room table. This is certainly nice. It's very easy to maneuver. If you haven't used Excel in a while, it's pretty self-explanatory. You tab through, you'll be able to figure it out. It's not that difficult, I promise. And you can definitely make yourself a schedule in here and print it off and use it in the same way. You can put it in your home binder if you have one of those. You can put it, fold it, and put it into maybe your Filofax or your planner. But again, for me, I am doing really well with sticking to it, but I'm also doing well on seeing what is taking me away from, getting everything done that I want to get done. And oddly enough, that telephone is the problem. So I know that was pretty simple. I know that. But I think that's something we have to focus on. Us, when I say us, I mean, moms, either working or stay-at-home wives and moms who are off schedule, even still, while the school year is, well underway. Starting off simple is important. And when I looked at the schedule and the first couple of days, I would glance and be like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And I would also notice, like the first week, I really think instead of just trying to force yourself on it, do it easily and gradually and see where you're coming off schedule. And for me, it was simply the phone. It wasn't the TV. It wasn't the house cleaning. It wasn't any of that. It was simply the phone calls per day, which I'm trying to cut back a lot. I know my best friend is not calling as much, which I miss. I love her, but we're talking like once during the day and once in the evening, which, we talk like 4 or 5 times a day sometimes. I talk to my mom, my sister almost daily, my sister-in-law almost daily. My husband, while he's away, I talk to him. Business calls, sponsor calls, which I make. Bill calls, which you guys know take forever. And you have to really find out where you're falling off schedule. And once you figure that out, you'll be able to get back on the schedule. And I don't care how remedial mine looks, it's working for me. And this has been hanging up downstairs on our chalkboard wall. Now, sometimes I bring it to the desk, but I've been leaving it there, and I go check it by time, and I'm getting pretty used to the schedule, but I still, I'm falling short a little bit, but I'm getting better by the day, and I'm hoping that this video helps you to maybe put together a very simple schedule that you can follow. And you can also track to see where you're coming, away from that schedule at, and where you are losing time. For me, it seemed like the sun was setting sooner. Well, it was only setting sooner because I was on the phone so much that I didn't have time to get the stuff done that I needed to get done. So yes, nighttime came a little bit quicker. And imagine when we turn the clocks back, or up, whatever, in fall, where we lose an hour back. Right? Anyway, spring forward, fall back. That's it. Back. So, imagine that. We're going to lose an hour soon. And I don't know about you guys, but when it gets dark, it's harder to get more stuff done. It's harder to make videos because of the lighting. It's harder to clean your house. It's harder to want to do stuff because at night people want to generally rest. So, I think it's time to schedule in family time. I think it's time to, make time for ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to take care of our families very well. And I really hope this gives you some tips and tricks on maybe what might work for you. You don't even have to have it like this or on Excel. You could certainly just write it out on a piece of paper and try your best to follow it. Again, see where you're falling off and try to find out where you're losing your time at, which has been very important for me. So as I go into the coming weeks, I'll come back. I'll let you know how it's working for me. I did a whole video on the desk pads. This one, the Oh What a Week, and the monthly calendar, which also hangs up on our chalkboard wall downstairs, and I really love them, but you could certainly use a paper. And if you want to see the video where I show these in more detail, just click on the link that will pop up. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below or on the corresponding blog post. And I really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, please subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.